Okay. Now, the teaching on the Noble Mahayana Sutra, Wisdom at the Hour of Passing Away. This teaching is so relevant today for the reason that the so many millions of deaths happen because of the COVID, and of course, alongside the deaths happening because of other reasons as well. And then the so many people in hospitals they going through terminal illness, and also the man-made problems like what is happening in Afghanistan and in many other places. Yeah, it's very sad thing. At the same time, this is what we see. Some people, when they witness these things happening, they feel so demoralized, and to the extent that they feel that now there's no hope in the world. So why should I? I don't see any reason why I should survive. So this is what some people tend to come up with these thoughts. These are very sad, very sad. And in fact, particularly those people who think like this, they're very compassionate person. Of course, without this sense of compassion, one cannot really expect the person to to take such extreme steps, thinking that look at Afghanistan, look at the COVID, look at this, look at that, domestic violence, and so forth, and they feel demoralized. They feel the world is so gloomy, and what can I do now? So here we should particularly, this is what I always share with other people, that the evils win when the angels retreat. So if you give up, the number of the angels, the ratio between the angels and the evils will take over. This is what is bound to happen when you give up. When you, as somebody who has a feeling of compassion, who somebody having feeling towards the humanity, towards the other suffering beings, when you give up, the number of the evils increase. That's it. Say, for example, Afghanistan. Say the moment America pulls out, then the Taliban simply it took over. This is what the world is seeing. So this is the meaning of when the angels retreat, the evils win. This is a 20 years victory of the Taliban. This is what is happening. Nobody can deny this reality. It's not that, it is not because of the anger towards the common Afghanis people, the Afghans. It's all because of the lack of the vision, or the farsightedness, what can potentially happen in the future. Within just like 1 or 2 months' time, everything's taken over, and so many people, they take refuge in America. Look, the aeroplane, and people are just holding to this from outside. They take refuge, and where is this refuge? This refuge is sibling leaving you. This is very unfortunate. And what about all these, the young girls and the women? What's the plight of them? Totally unpredictable. So this is where we're going wrong. So seeing these things, instead of we feeling demoralized, we should feel even more energetic. We should become even more courageous to say that, okay, it's a matter of time. This life, next life, next life, next life, and so forth. Then I must become Buddha to benefit all these beings. That is so precious, so precious. So for the time being, what we can do is that these are things, the manner in which a small child builds, say, they learns how to first read the ABC, the alphabets, and then gradually grow in learning the additions, subtractions, the multiplications, so forth, and then more sophisticated, say the language, more sophisticated mathematics, science, and so forth. This is how we grow. Likewise, we have to start from there. I will take the responsibility that finally, nobody suffers. Nobody has to suffer. This is how we can make commitment. And of course, in the course of this discussion, questions will come up how do we know that there's rebirth? Okay, this life is fine. Whatever I can do in this life, I can do. But what about the next life, the next, and so forth? So this is going to be where we have to take special initiative, particularly the compassionate people. They should take the initiative to explore how the rebirth is possible, how that is possible, and how that is established through reasoning, not through blind faith. So that is so important. Okay, so these are for, of course, who will take the responsibility? Only the compassionate people. Those who are not compassionate, they will not take the responsibility. The compassionate people, they will take the responsibility. So therefore, the compassionate people, they should take responsibility of this life, your state, your family, the community, and expand it in space and in time. So this is how it works. So with this in mind, this text, Noble Mahayana Sutra. So how can we prepare ourselves in this life to make sure that in the future lifetimes we continue to grow. We continue to grow and to finally to awaken this seed of perfection within us. And this seed of perfection, once awakened, will have the incredible, infinite potential to benefit the infinite number of beings. Okay, this is how we prepare. So with this in mind, first let us read this sutra together, and then followed by the giving a short explanation of this. And while you read, just see if it makes some sense to you. And then when the actual explanation is given, you will be able to correlate that better for a better the registration in your mind. Okay, the text will read this together. Okay, the Noble Mahayana Sutra, wisdom at the hour of passing away. So when somebody is about to die, as a very compassionate person, so those who are not compassionate, well, they don't really care of the world. They do not care of the world. So that's a different story. But the compassionate people, all of us who are here, no doubt, there is a sense of compassion. There's a sense of responsibility in your mind. So those people, how should you think? How should you design your mind at the time when you're on the verge to passing away from this world? Okay, let's read this together. The Noble Mahayana Sutra, Wisdom at the Hour of Death. Homage to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Thus did I hear at one time, while the Blessed One, the Buddha, was residing in the palace of the king of the gods in the Aganishta realm. He taught the Dharma to the entire assembly. The Bodhisattva Mahasattva, Akashagarbha, then paid homage to the Blessed One and asked, Blessed One, how should we think about the mind of a Bodhisattva who is about to die? The Blessed One replied, Akashagarbha, when a Bodhisattva is about to die, he or she should cultivate the wisdom of the hour of death. The wisdom of the hour of death is as follows. All phenomena are naturally pure. So one should cultivate the clear understanding that there are no entities. All phenomena are subsumed within the mind of enlightenment. So one should cultivate the clear understanding of great compassion. All phenomena are naturally luminous. So one should cultivate the clear understanding of non-apprehension. All entities are impermanent, so one should cultivate the clear understanding of non-attachment to anything whatsoever. When one realizes mind, this is wisdom. So one should cultivate the clear understanding of not seeking the Buddha elsewhere. The Blessed One then spoke the following verses. Since all phenomena are naturally pure, one should cultivate the clear understanding that there are no entities. Since all phenomena are connected with the enlightened mind, one should cultivate the clear understanding of great compassion. Since all phenomena are naturally luminous, one should cultivate the clear understanding of non-apprehension. Since all entities are impermanent, one should cultivate the clear understanding of non-attachment. Since the mind is a cause for arising of the wisdom, do not look for the Buddha elsewhere. Okay. Okay, so let us now see to the explanation. One, the Noble Mahayana Sutra. Noble here in Sanskrit it is Arya, in Tibetan it is Pakpa. Arya Mahayana Sutra, the wisdom at the hour of passing away. Homage to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Thus did I hear at one time. This is what you find in all the Buddhist sutras. All the Buddhist sutras, be it in Pali tradition or in Sanskrit tradition, in both cases, in the sutras, we find that this is how the sutra begins. And you may be wondering why. This is the fact that the sutras meaning the direct teachings of the Buddha, when the Buddha gave these teachings, they were not really put into written. It was not in the written form. It was just what the Buddha taught, that's it. Verbally what the Buddha taught, that's it. And in those days, unlike today, what we call is the photographic memory. In those days, the great arhats, or the Arya beings, particularly the arhats meaning those who have already eradicated the afflictions within one's mind. Those beings, through the meditative the practice, the power of the meditative concentration, they get what is known as the clairvoyance, the ability to read others' mind, ability to retain that whatever teachings that you've received, the teaching of the ability of the retention. So with this ability to retention, these great enlightened beings, whatever they hear, the Buddha, the teaching, they have them printed in the mind in the form of photographic memories. They could just remember it. They could just, reproduce without any error. And then later on, then once the Buddha Shakyamuni assumed Mahaparinirvana, at one point, the followers, the great enlightened beings, they saw the need to put them into written for the reason that the people who could remember, who have the photographic memories, people who have the special power of the retention, they are decreasing in number. And because of these, the need for them to be inscribed, the need to be them in to be put in the written black and white, that was found as very important. So with this in mind, all those who have who are able to retrieve those teachings, whatever they've learned before in the form of hearing, and of course through appointments, these enlightened beings, they started to reproduce orally, and whatever is reproduced, they are being written down. So it says, thus did I hear at one time. So what I'm saying now, this is not my intuitive experience, or this is not my own teachings, but these are what I actually heard at that time. This is so authentic. It's not my own concepts mixed with what the Buddha taught, but this is what I heard. This is not adulterated. Okay, this is the connotation. While the Blessed One here refers to the Buddha, in Sanskrit it is the Bhagavan, and Tibetan it is translated as the Chomdende, the one who has conquered all the defilements, who was residing in the palace of the king of the gods in the Akanishta realm. The 6 realms. Within the samsara is divided into 6 realms, one of which is known as the realm of the god and goddesses. So there, in a very specific realm of the god and goddesses known as Akanishta, the Buddha, the Blessed One, he taught the Dhamma to the entire assembly. And the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, Okay, sorry. The Blessed One was residing in the palace of the king of the gods in the Akanishta realm. He taught the Dharma to the entire assembly. The Bodhisattva Mahasattva, Akashagarbha, the Bodhisattva on the 10th level, 10 bhumi. Okay, those of you who are aware of all these, the philosophical metaphysical studies of Buddhism, you know what is 10 bhumi. For others, what I would say is that those beings who successfully generated the aspiration, the way and the manner in which we said before, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, who genuinely or who succeed in generating this mind, to make this mind very spontaneous, these beings are known as bodhisattvas. So anybody who has accomplished in, say, the generating this mind, the aspiration to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings, which is technically known as the bodhicitta. So these beings are known as the bodhisattvas, who are aspiring to become Buddhas. And once they accomplish the ultimate state where your mind, the true nature of your mind, becomes manifest, where all the mental stains, say the gold mixed with the soil, mixed with mud, the gold is not visible. The gold, although the nature of the gold is to glow, but nothing glows there when it's mixed with the soil or when mixed with the mud. And we, the ordinary beings, may throw this up. This is just the garbage. We may throw this, but the Gold Express will not throw this. Gold Express will say that this is so precious. There's a gold there. It's a gold. And how do you know that there's a gold there? So the gold expert will remove the mud. Remove the mud. As he removes the mud more and more, then what is from inside starts to glow. Then you will realize, oh, there's a gold there. This is how it works. So likewise, anybody who is able to remove the metal dirt fully, then the gold inside glows perfectly well, and it glows, it radiates, it emits its light to every atom of the universe and every mind of the sentient beings. This is the meaning of the omniscience. When this mind is able to see every atom of the universe and every mind of the sentient beings, this is known as the omniscience. And because it is present everywhere, it is omnipresent. And because that it is capable, nothing can really hamper the radiance of the mind from performing to benefit other beings. This becomes omnipotent. So these are the three qualities. When you become a Buddha, your mind attains these three qualities. Okay, so that is the Blessed One. The Bodhisattva Mahasattva, Akashagarbha, who is on the verge to become Buddha, is in the final state of the Bodhisattvahood, then paid homage to the Blessed One and asked, Blessed One, how should we think about the mind of a Bodhisattva who is about to die? Say due to COVID. In fact, we never know. We never know. That it's totally unpredictable. Who's going to have COVID, the Delta variant, who's not going to have it, we never know. And once we have it, how should we prepare ourselves? And in fact, some of my friends, they ask me, how should we prepare ourselves? It is totally uncertain what will happen to us. And it's not that I'm healthy today, which means that I'll be healthy for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years. So how should we prepare? And this is the best text. This is the best teaching for us how to prepare ourselves at the time of the passing away. So for that matter, it says, the Blessed One, how should we think about the mind of a Bodhisattva who is about to die? The Blessed One replied, Akashagarbha, when a Bodhisattva is about to die, he should cultivate the wisdom of the hour of death. The wisdom of the hour of the death is as follows. Wisdom of the hour of the death, when one is about to die, what should we be thinking? How should we set our mind? Okay. Okay, so the first point that we need to keep in mind is that all phenomena are naturally pure. So 5 points to keep in mind. 5 points. The Buddha identified 5 very important points. Number 1 is all phenomena are naturally pure. So one should cultivate the clear understanding that there are no entities. Naturally pure meaning, let's say, let me give you an example. Say you enter a shop where all the statues are being sold, and the statues the statues of the Buddha, statues of the Mahavir, statues of Jesus Christ, and so forth, and statues of the demon, and statues of the, let's say, all, let's say, the nasty things, statues of animals, statues of insects, and statues of Buddha. There are thousands of statues there, and some of them statues of the demons. And if you asked, okay, you just pick up all these statues one by one, and when it comes to the statue of Jesus Christ or the Buddha, and then you pick it up. Oh, this is so beautiful! It's so nice. And you pick up the statue of the demon. You said, no, just leave this behind. You don't want to even touch it. Okay. So this is what happens, and then the shopkeeper tells you that, okay, you can take only one statue, and all the other statues you cannot even touch. Let's statue the Jesus Christ, Mahavir, Buddha, and so forth, you cannot even touch. Only those statues, like the demons, you can take it. No, I don't want to take it. Okay, you will not take it, I'm sure. But the shopkeeper tells you that, but all these statues are made of diamonds. You want to take it or not now? Yes, of course. No, there's no difference. It's diamond. You're not taking that as a statue of the demon, but it's a diamond you're going to take it. Which means that everything inside this shop is diamond. Everything inside this shop is diamond. So this is what the Buddha is saying here, is that all phenomena are naturally pure. All phenomena are naturally pure. Our mind is the one we see something as impure, pure, half pure, and so forth. This is a projection of a mind. Projection of mind. And because of this, we suffer. And some of you may have questioned that if there is a projection of mind, why should one suffer then? Okay, let's say as long as you are in the dream, the dream is just the projection of your mind. But as long as you are in the dream, you are going to be affected by the dream. Although it is your projection. Only when you wake up, the dream contents will not affect you anymore. So likewise, all these beings, like us, everywhere who is suffering now, they're in the dream. They're in the dream of ignorance. And because of this, the contents of the dream, they bully us, they torture us, they torment us. We are being affected. So if you don't want to be affected, if you want to make sure that I'll be freed altogether, then the best thing is wake up. Wake up. Otherwise, it's a matter of time. Somebody is in the first row, then second row, third row. The first row is being being put to termination or say execution, and those in the 10th row, okay, we are relaxed, it's not our turn, but one day it's going to be your turn. So like the COVID, so many people, how, I say like 3 years ago, those like 1 million, more than, almost like 3, I'm sure like 2 millions who died. So those people, 2 years ago, they were as alive, as strong, as alive, as vibrant as what we are today. And that day, the way, the manner in which we are together now, if we were together 3 years ago, we will not really anticipate that I'm going to go in, because it's COVID, in 1 or 2 years' time. And likewise, what are you together now? The fact that we are together now doesn't mean that we'll be like this forever. Forget about forever. Even tomorrow, we're not sure. So the point is that we have to prepare ourselves from now, because that time is sure to happen. And these pains are so excruciating. The pains are excruciatingly agonizing. So with this in mind, we have to realize that the purity of the world that all phenomena are naturally pure. But while they are naturally pure, because our dreaming mind of the ignorance, it makes you to dream things as impure, and then they affect us. So till you wake up, they will continue to affect us, they will continue to torture us. The phenomena are naturally pure. So one should naturally pure means that what we see is impure, what we see is seen as catastrophic, they are not natural. They are how our mind projected. What is naturally there, this is very pure. So one should cultivate the clear understanding that there are no entities. There are no entities from the object. All entities that we see, they are projected by your own mind. That's it, number one. So this will free us from all the entanglements otherwise happening by the power of the dreams, contents of the dreams. Number two, all phenomena are subsumed within the mind of enlightenment. What is enlightenment? Awakening mind. It has multiple qualities. It has multiple qualities such as the perfect love, perfect knowledge, and perfect power. This awakening. Everyone, whether you are Buddhist or not, doesn't matter. Whether you are male or female, it doesn't matter. Even if you are non-Buddhist, even if you are just atheist, totally non-believer, if your mind is so pure, the true nature of your mind is so pure, so that this purity, when it becomes manifest, it will manifest in, of course, with infinite qualities, out of which three qualities which are being taken as the qualities with which to benefit all the beings. There are three. Number one is the perfect love. Number two is perfect knowledge. And then number three is perfect power. We need to reach these three qualities to benefit the beings in the most perfect form. Okay, this is very important. Why these three qualities? I'll explain that for us to feel convinced that, oh, that's true. Let's say in simple form, in simple terms, let's say that you have an exam. You are a school girl or school boy, age, let's say, 12 or 13, and having to sit for exam, and your father tells you that my boy, my daughter, my son, if you study well, I'm always there to help you. And then you remember this so well, you registered that in your mind, and then closer to the exam, you go to your dad and ask, Dad, in 1 week's time, it is my physics exam. Please teach me physics. And the dad, scratching his head, says that, oh, I always failed in physics when I was in school. So your dad cannot help you. Why? Because he's lacking the knowledge. If somebody is really to help you perfectly well, his or her knowledge must be complete. So that requires the perfect knowledge in order to be of utmost benefit to others, number one. Then the dad tells you that, okay, my daughter, my son, don't worry. Although I cannot help you, but our next door neighbor is a professor in physics. Nobel laureate in physics. Oh, that's great. Then you rush there and knock at the door, and then okay, what do you want? My exam after 1 week. Okay, the $3,000 per hour. You cannot pay $3,000 per hour. So you become so desperate, you rush to your dad and says that this is what he's asking, $3,000 per hour. This professor, he could not help you. Why? Is he lacking knowledge? No, he's not lacking knowledge. If your dad has that scholastic quality, he will never ask for $3,000 per hour. So why is this professor, why he failed to help you? Because he does not have the love. So somebody to help you perfectly well, that person must have the infinite love, perfect love. Then the dad says, don't worry, we don't have that much money. We cannot pay like $3,000 per hour. But your mom, although she's not a professor in physics, but when she was in school, she was always the topper in physics. So she can help you. This evening she'll come and she'll help you. And the evening she comes. and you just jump to the mother, and mom, please help me, and the mother, please stay away from me. I have a diarrhea problem because I ate something from the stale food, and then I have a diarrhea problem. So the mother could not help you because she is terribly in pain. Why she could not help you? Is it because that she doesn't love you? She loves you so much. Is it because that she does not have the knowledge? Of course, she was a topper in school in physics. So why she cannot help you? Because she doesn't have the energy to teach you now. So she doesn't have the power. Therefore, anybody who is to benefit somebody perfectly well must be endowed with these three qualities. So, when your seed of perfection, the Buddha energy inside, when it becomes manifest fully, you will be endowed with these three perfect qualities, where the beings, sentient beings, are prepared from their side, you are forever ready to benefit the beings. This is known as the one with the perfect ability to benefit the beings. Okay, this is known as the enlightenment. So it says, all phenomena are subsumed within the mind of enlightenment. Mind of enlightenment, the aspiration to become Buddha, aspiration to be equipped with these three qualities: perfect love, perfect knowledge, and the perfect power. So one should cultivate the clear understanding of great compassion. In other words, we see that with this great compassion, with this mind of enlightenment, the aspiration to become Buddha, so this will incorporate all phenomena. It will embrace all phenomena, good, bad, whatever, because one has to know what is bad in order to appreciate what is good, and how to get into the bad things. We have to know what the bad things are. So this bodhicitta, or the mind of enlightenment, embraces all phenomena, and therefore one should cultivate the clear understanding of great compassion to embrace all beings and all phenomena. Number 3, all phenomena are naturally luminous, so one should cultivate the clear understanding of non-apprehension. For example, let's say the rainbow. Rainbow is so beautiful, luminous. It's just the nature of the light. There's nothing but the tangible, the solidity there. And in the ultimate analysis of your mind, we see that, for example, say that the dream is just the radiance of your own mind. Your mind manifests in the form of the dreams, and you feel them as so real. Likewise, even during the waking state, this all, the way, the manner in which the dream comes from your mind, even in the waking state, all phenomena there arise from your own mind. So that all phenomena, that the radiance of one's mind, like your mind falling asleep and starting to dream, and all these, the plethora of phenomena, they all arise out of your projection of your mind. Likewise, all phenomena, what is happening now, the beautiful colors and the good things, bad things, whatever we see around, they are nothing but the radiance of one's own mind. So this is the luminous aspect of your mind. Of course, this is something that we can intellectually learn, plus reflect on, and then finally meditate on this, that everything is but the radiance of one's own mind. Okay. So one should cultivate the clear understanding of non-apprehension, because this is just a radiance of one's own mind. One cannot really get hold of your mind. Your mind is not tangible. You cannot really catch the mind. So it cannot be apprehended in that sense. So they're all the radiance of one's mind. They don't really exist as something, say, they're separate from your mind. So there's nothing really there to hold on to, grab and onto, or apprehend something as separate entity from your mind. Then all entities are impermanent. So one should cultivate the clear understanding of non-attachment to anything whatsoever. So now the point is that this is more on a profound level, and then more on the first level. First reality. The first reality is that we live in the world, and then we operate in the world, we function in the world. In the process, say for example, most of us, we have own jobs. Jobs means that, or we run your own business, startups, or whatever. When you do that, you're doing for us as a means of your livelihood. Means of livelihood meaning to get something, and you want, say, with the same effort, if you get X amount of money, with one effort you get X amount of money, and with the same effort, if there's a possibility for you to get 10 times the X amount of money, you will always, of course, go for the second one. Which means that while we operate in this illusion-like world, the tendency is that we can be caught up in this illusion. And because of this, the Buddha is reminding us. Okay. The Buddha is reminding us that be mindful that all these composite phenomena, they're impermanent. They're impermanent. All entities are impermanent. So one should cultivate a clear understanding of non-attachment to anything whatsoever. Non-attachment. Okay, many people, they have the wrong understanding that, Buddhism talks about non-attachment, denial. Buddhism is a very self-denial, the religion, philosophy. Okay, this is where our naivety comes into play. This is purely our naivety. And if you really understand the concept so well, this is amazing. Say, for example, some people, some of my friends, people who become close to me, they through Buddhism, Buddhist teachings. And then initially when I first meet, they are very nice, fashionable, they look very presentable, and nice. And then after being close to me for a longer time, then they started to put on very shabby dress and hairs not the unkempt hairs, totally coming unkempt, dirty. And then they do the kitchen work and hands are dirty, and they use their cloth to wipe their hands like this. This is what they do. They think that this is Buddhism. This is a disaster. This is a naivety. So therefore, I always tell my friends, the boys, the girls, the boys, if they're really attracted towards the Buddhist philosophy, they come to me. Then they started to, earlier they become very presentable, and now they become the earlier they're physically so fit, fine, and now they become central obese, right? So no, this is Buddhism. So I said, no. Change your mind. Don't change your physical body. Change your mind. This is Buddhism. It's not just changing the physical body that you become Buddhist. No. Change your mind. Change your mind. This is Buddhism. So I said that for the girls who initially they come, they look so presentable, nice. Remain like this. Otherwise, say the younger generation, the girls or the boys, they're interested into, what's the meaning of, they start with this, what's the meaning of life? And then, then how does mind work? They come with all these intuitive, very brilliant questions. And then people gradually connect them to the Buddha. This you find addressed in Buddhism. And I don't want belief. I don't want, say, blind faith. I want rational answers. This you find in Buddhism. Then they go towards Buddhism. You feel people. You meet with people all like this, right? Obese, and then the hair's unkempt, and all the clothes dirty, right? As well, this Buddhism. And then when they see you, okay, is this Buddhism? Yes, this is Buddhism. This is how you should be like. Although people may not explicitly say it like this, but then this impression that you're giving. And because of this, okay, if this Buddhism, no, this is not what I'm asking. I'm asking for what's the meaning of life? And this is not the meaning of life. This is worse than what I'm today. I don't want to go worse. I want to improve, right? So many people can be dissuaded. And it's not about becoming a Buddhist. It's about becoming a, say, compassionate person. To learn how to become a compassionate person, to go into the system of compassion, to go into the system of wisdom. you are depriving that person of that unintentionally. So therefore, the point is that when we speak about these concepts, it's not about the self-denial. It's not about self-denial. We talk about the detachment, self-denial, and so forth, dependence, and so forth. The point is that, okay, this is where we need the nuanced understanding to remove this naivety, is that pertaining to your personal interests, personal selfish interests, there should be detachment. Pertaining to the welfare of the others, you should accumulate, you should gather, you should expand, you should grow in wealth, and expand the circle of affection, expand the circle of benefit. So, those people who seek personal liberation, the Buddha said that even your clothes, whatever you have, they should be limited. But following the Bodhisattvas, even if you have many extra clothes or extra things, but if you keep them for your personal interests, this is wrong. If you keep them with the intention to distribute these to the people, needy people later on, that is what is required. So therefore, there's nothing wrong to be rich, to be educated, to be in a high position, and so forth. There's nothing wrong in it. Not only there's nothing wrong in it, this is so much to be encouraged, because this is how you inspire others, and you change your mind. You change your mind to increase your compassion. You change your mind to become a more sensible person. You change your mind not succumbing to not being succumbed to depression, anxiety, anguish, and so forth. Then people will see you as a role model. Wow, that's amazing. This person, look, this person is so wealthy. I also would like to be wealthy. And this person is very influential. I also would like to be influential. This person, so many people come to seek advice. This is also what I like. At the same time, this person is so compassionate. This person is so calm under any the tragic situations. The person maintains calmness. That's amazing. This is a role model. This is what I like to become. So this is what we should become, one yourself, so that you can become role model for others. Okay, that's the meaning of the detachment. Detachment doesn't mean that you have to give away everything. It simply means, with respect to your selfish interest, have the least possession. With respect to benefit others, have the most possessions. Let's not forget it. Okay, then the next, when one realizes mind, this is wisdom. Okay, when you realize, when one realizes that my mind, although it's so defiled, say so full of ignorance, so full of, say, the anger, agitation, and so forth, but the true nature of this mind is so pure, like the dirty water. However, dirty water is, remove the dirt. You don't have to introduce the pure water from outside at all. Just remove the dirt and the purity comes from within. You don't have to introduce purity from outside. Just remove the dirt. Your job is remove the dirt and the purity comes out from within. Say, like this, the brass singing bowl. This brass singing bowl, if I assign you to make it gold, you keep removing the brass particles. Remove the brass particles. What happened? The singing bowl will disappear. Singing bowl will not become a gold. It'll disappear. Whereas with the water, however dirty the water is, remove the dirt, keep removing the dirt. The water will not disappear, but the purity will manifest. The water will become so pure. So what's the difference? Most of you will for sure say that this water, however dirty the water is, the true nature of this water is so pure. Unlike this singing bowl, the true nature of this singing bowl is not golden. It is brass. So whereas this water, however dirty the water is, true nature of this water is very clean. Likewise, our mind, true nature of mind is so pure. However aggressive your mind is, however angry your mind is, the full of anger, agitation, stress, the temper, so forth, but with skillful means to remove this mental dirt, the purity inside will manifest, purity of compassion, the purity of the power, and the purity of knowledge will manifest from within. Okay, this is the meaning of, if one realizes the mind, this is wisdom. So one should cultivate the clear understanding of not seeking the Buddha elsewhere. It is right there within you. The Blessed One thus then spoke the following verses. So whatever is being taught above, the 5 points for us to reflect on. So these are all summarized in the form of the verses. It says, since all phenomena are naturally pure, number one should cultivate the clear understanding that there are no entities, meaning that all of the projection of one's own mind, objectively there's nothing there. There's nothing there, then the objects affecting you will stop and your disturbance, agitation will stop. You'll be free from all your agitations. Since all phenomena are connected with enlightened mind, one should cultivate a clear understanding of great compassion, that finally the true nature of mind is so pure, which embraces all the beings, embraces the infinite qualities of the Buddha enlightenment with the perfect bodhicitta. So cultivate from now on, cultivate great compassion. Since all phenomena are naturally luminous, one should cultivate the clear understanding of non-apprehension. Just be mindful that the manner in which the dream is just the luminosity manifested from your own mind. Likewise, all the phenomena, what is around you, these are the radiance of one's mind. With this awareness, the stop clinking and apprehending these phenomena. Since all entities are impermanent, one should cultivate a clear understanding of non-attachment. So from the point of view of the personal interest, selfish interest, one should not feel attached to the composite phenomena, keeping in mind that they're all transient, the impermanent nature. Since the mind is the cause for the arising of wisdom, do not look for the Buddhahood elsewhere. Buddhahood, the purity is within yourself. This is so important, and this is a conviction that you must gain. When you say the Buddhahood within you, it doesn't mean Buddhism inside you. This is not the meaning. It simply means the full awakening within you, final purity within you. One example I always tell people is that, for example, in once there was a war between the Sikhs and the end of the group. And then at the end of the war, both sides were injured. And one Sikh soldier who was relatively healthy, he was giving water to both sides. The enemy soldiers were injured, and your side, the Sikh soldiers were injured. He was giving the water to both sides. And then the other Sikh soldiers, they became so angry. Why are you giving water to the enemy soldiers? And then the matter was reported, I think, to the Guru Govind Singh. The guru, the leader, spiritual head of the Sikhism at that point. And the Guru Govind Singh said that he knows my intention. This soldier knows my intention. We are not to see other side as enemies. We are all brothers and sisters. This is so beautiful. This is so beautiful. These qualities are manifested by the people from all the different religions. Okay, this is so important. Since the mind is a cause for the arising of wisdom, do not look for the Buddhahood elsewhere. Buddhahood meaning full awakening elsewhere. It is right there within you. However dirty the water is, let's not forget it. However dirty the water is, just remove the dirt and the purity will come from within. You don't have to introduce purity from outside. After the Blessed One has spoken, the whole assembly, including the Bodhisattva Akashagarbha and others, were overjoyed and full of praise for the Buddha's words. Okay, this concludes the Noble Mahayana Sutra, Wisdom at the Hour of the Death. If we can be mindful of these 5 points on a daily basis, and then the possibility is that at towards the closer towards the time of death, we can well remember these points. With these points remembered, the next life is guaranteed that you will have all these imprints of these 5 points being activated being activated within yourself. Okay, so this completes the teaching part, and now we will do the taking the aspiration bodhisattva vow. So that we'll do very quickly. Usually we do it the full-fledged form. Now we'll do the shorter version. So given that we have now learned about the 5 points, how we have to set a mind. Of course, the set a mind closer towards the time of death, and this is how we need to set a mind. But to succeed, to be successful in doing so, we have to practice it from now on. So for that matter, we have to learn how to do this. We learned that, and I would suggest you, if these 5 points really truly resonates, and this is actually taught by the Buddha himself, if they really resonate with your own thinking and in a form that you really appreciate, oh, I'm so lucky that I learned these 5 points, very important points, and of course we can learn more. You do further extensive studies of these. So now, having known these 5 points, then how to actually generate this mind to become Buddha. So for that matter, the one thing which is so important is that many of you, I can see that many of you, you have your own personal experiences, personal experience of what in the English expression is what we have as where there is will, there is way. Where there is will, there is way. Meaning that where you are passionate, when you're very passionate, nothing can stop you to achieve your goal. When I was younger, meaning when I was in the 20s and particularly early 30s, the young mind and I would say the extremely excessively radically rational mind, I could not accept this. Where you have to do, where there's will, there's a way. If you have passion, you can accomplish. Nobody can stop you from what you aim. I was not really, happy with these. Then later on, with the age taught me that that's very true. So now, for Tibet House interviews, when we see that the interviewees, when we see that they don't really have passion, just torturing themselves. What should they force themselves to be in this job? Why don't you go to some other things where you have passion? So this is now what I've learned, seeing all these, the people who are pursuing through their aspirations and who succeed, who do not succeed. We see that people with passion, they succeed. It is not matter. It is not how much, how intelligent you are or how influential you are. Finally, what determines the success of materializing your aspiration is your will. So with this in mind, we have to cultivate this will. How we started this today's program, that the Afghanistan, there is so sad. We can't do anything. Whereas this is from a broader picture of not only this planet Earth, in this world, in this universe, in the Milky Way galaxy, and the whole universe. There are innumerable numbers of galaxies there, and in these, and we today we could not even explore the Milky Way galaxy. Forget about the Milky Way galaxy. We can't even explore the solar system. We just a speck of dust in the face of the Milky Way galaxy, and then forget about the whole universe. So, on the Buddha very clearly indicated that the planet Earth, or the world system which sustains life, there are innumerable such world systems there, and what is happening in Afghanistan today, what is happening here and there everywhere. This is exactly happening in innumerable world systems in the other galaxies in the universe. So, as I said earlier, if you, from your side, if you build this quality, the three perfect qualities where the seed of perfection is manifested fully, then you'll be in a position to benefit all these beings, provided these beings are ready from their side. So the teacher, even though, for example, Albert Einstein, he was a world genius in physics, but one of his sons was only interested in psychology. He was not interested in physics. So the Einstein cannot do anything, although he can teach. He would be so happy to teach his son, but his son is more interested in psychology. So Albert Einstein has to contact Sigmund Freud, to let his son meet with the Sigmund Freud. So his son did not really value Einstein's the knowledge. So what I'm saying is that there must be the quality provided the beings from this side, they are ready, then you become a Buddha, having perfected these three qualities, you will be in a position to help all the beings. So for that matter, from our side at least, we have to prepare ourselves to reach to that level of the perfection in three qualities. So for that, what we do is that initially we build this aspiration, and even this, in other words, everything that exists in this universe. Say some people who are lazy, some people who are very passionate, some people who are very the intelligent, genius, and some people who are really dull. These are all dependently originated. There's nothing intrinsically real there. All comes into being by dependent on other factors. The fact that some people, they are very compassionate, like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and some people, they are so like us, and some people, they are least compassionate. There are some people, they are with the really cold heart, right? They're also dependent originated, which means that anything can be changed. Even the worst of the cold-hearted person, by exposing this person to the conducive factors, even that person can be changed to the most compassionate person. And the person who is into the deepest of depression, even that person, by creating the proper conducive factors, can be upgraded, uplifted to the state of the most expansive, happy person. This is all possible through dependent origination. Given that the reality is dependent origination, what is the fabric of the whole universe, including your compassion, including wisdom, so we have to say create the conducive factors dependent upon which the compassion grows, dependent upon which a sense of responsibility grows. Okay, so as a part of this, creating the conducive factors, we are doing this as taking the Aspirational Bodhisattva vow. And when you speak of the vow, some of you may feel that, oh, this is something Buddhistic. Don't worry about it. Anybody can take this, even if you are total atheist, or even if somebody dislikes any form of, say, the traditions, rituals. Anybody can take it, provided you feel that, if possible, I will try to render service and benefit to other beings. If not, at least I will not harm others. This much, if you can commit, you are entitled to take this from whatever tradition that you're from, whatever background you're from. It doesn't matter, you can take this Aspirational Bodhisattva vow. Okay, so with this in mind, what we do is that this very auspicious today's auspicious day is the 10th of the 10th day of the lunar calendar, and that we did this the teaching on the bodhisattvas, how to set the bodhisattva's mind at the time of the passing away, and the 5 points each one we enumerated, we learned them. With this in mind, they let us, what is enlightenment? It becomes clearer in mind. Okay, so let us reinforce the visualization of all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas in the space in front of you once more. So loving, caring, and embracing. And for the Bodhisattva field, let us reinforce visualization of two kind parents and all the people in the Afghanistan, all the people who live in fear, all the people who are the culprits, who think that they are doing something so great, they are the victors. They are all engaged in accumulating negative karma for them to suffer terribly and badly in the future. So out of compassion for them as well. And all the sentient beings, your family members, including the children, and all the beings around you living on the side. Just imagine if they follow the footsteps that you're following now, where through the 5 points, they see the perfection, they're activated fully. This world is going to be the perfect world of synchrony, harmony, and peace. With this in mind, let us take few seconds to invoke the spirit. May I become Buddha. Buddha meaning that the seed of perfection within me become manifest. If you're a Christian, if you are Hindu, Muslim, Jain, Christian, Sikh, Jew, Baha'i, the Parsi, it doesn't matter. Even if you're non-Buddhist, it doesn't matter. When you say, may I become Buddha, meaning that may the seed of perfection within me become manifest fully, may I attain the state of perfection. This is the meaning. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all dear mother sentient beings. Even though it is so superficial, it doesn't matter. This is how we have to start from the superficiality and attain to make it real. How we practice music. No music can be expected the first time you press the keyboard. And if gradually it becomes beautiful music. This is what we do. Okay, let us just, in our mind, trigger this experience. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Just try to invoke this. Okay, with this in mind, with folded hands, I'll say a line of this bodhicitta, and we'll all say this together 3 times. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. Okay, just abide in this experience of this extremely, incredibly beautiful mind of the bodhicitta, courageous mind of the bodhicitta. Transform this into a beautiful white bone disc, horizontally sitting at your heart. Okay, now, that's amazing that you made such a courageous commitment to become Buddha. But how can you become Buddha? By remove all the mental dust, the Buddhahood, the seed of perfection is within me. The manner in which you remove the dirt, you remove the mud, and the gold inside will manifest. Likewise, the gold inside me, the seed of perfection, the Buddhahood is within me, will be manifested by removing the dirt. How are you going to remove the dirt? By meditating on the wisdom. What is that wisdom? The wisdom to see that nothing really exists objectively. They're all like dreams. Within the dream, things operate. Within the dream, things function. So the manner in which I wake up to see that the dream is not real, I'll be freed from the ensnarement of the contents of the dream, and this is how I can benefit, I can help wake up all the dear sentient beings from the dream of ignorance. Okay, so how can you realize that everything is like a dream? Okay, let us meditate on the emptiness. All this is going to be very quick and very short, very simple, very gross. It doesn't matter. This is how we start. Okay, what are you doing? I'm meditating. This is going to be a guided meditation. Just try to follow the instructions. Don't try to correlate with what I said earlier, what you've read before. Just try to follow the instructions, see how much we can invoke the respective experiences. Okay, what are you doing? I'm meditating. What is your body doing? My body is meditating. Okay, and how does this person, which you identify as I, how does this person appear to you? Like a dream, or is so objectified there, solidified there, not as a dream? Of course, not as a dream. It's not projected by my mind. This is known as self-grasping ignorance. How can I know that? How can I know that this perception is not a valid mind, instead ignorance? Okay, if this self identified as I, if it does exist as objectively real, why not? We can see this I as I go closer to this object. Let us remember what Nagarjuna said in his text, Precious Garland. If the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? If the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? If this person who identified as I, if this person were to exist objectively, not like a dream, why don't I see this self, the person, as I go closer to this object? Okay, let us now go closer to this object. Going closer to this object, we just ignore all those things which are not self. You look for the self which is intrinsically real, which is objectively real. Okay, going closer to the object, we initially see a very thin layer of the skin. That's not you. Behind that, the fatty tissues. That's also not me. Behind that, the bones, the muscles, the cartilages, the heart, the lungs, the spleen, the gallbladder, liver, kidney, intestine. Nothing of these solid parts is the me. These solid parts constitute the element of earth. In other words, element of earth is not me. What next? The water, element of water. 4 liters of blood, which is pumped in and out by the heart to different parts of the body. Of course, that is also not me. Keep that aside. Element of water is not me. Next, element of fire. 2,500 joules of energy that our body has, body energy in the form of heat, body heat, which is the element of earth, element of fire. Of course, that is not me. Keep that aside. Element of air, 4.6 liters of air that we breathe in and out through our lungs. Of course, that is also not me. Keep that aside. Element of space. 99% of a body, 99.999% of a body is space. But of course, this space is also not me. Space, vacuum in nature. I'm a solid person. I'm not a vacuum. So even the element of space is also not me. Keep that aside. What is left now? Element of consciousness. Consciousness meaning your own mind. Of course, that is not me. I'm a male. I'm a female. The mind does not have a gender. Gender is posited on the basis of the body. And also that the people can see me, people cannot see my mind. So therefore, even this consciousness is also not me, or the mind is not me. Okay, keeping aside all these 6 elements, what is left there as a self? Nothing is left there as a self. Now, where is the self objectively? Where is the self when you go close to the object? Nothing is left there. To my surprise, to my amazement, there's nothing left there to identify as a self. Stay in this experience. Okay, now imagine that you come out of the meditation. Again, the person comes back to be identified as I. It comes back. Okay, it comes back in your perception. Objectively, it is not there, but it does appear to your mind. Therefore, it is just a mere appearance, dreamlike. When the dream is mere appearance, even this self is also a mere appearance. Mere appearance of what is described as a dreamlike, as an illusion-like. So therefore, the self is just an illusion-like. Just as self is illusion-like, all other phenomena, they're also like illusion. So the whole universe is operating on this illusion-like reality. Yet they operate, they function so infallibly. Okay, going towards the object, besides the six elements within you, where is this person? It's not, nothing is really there. Stay in this experience. This experience, referred to as the wisdom of emptiness, slowly transform this into a spotless clean white Vajra, thumb-sized white Vajra, vertically sitting on the Muntis of your heart. Okay, just imagine that you are so fortunate that you have this moon disk the symbolizing the conventional bodhicitta, which wishes to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings, to get rid of the self-centered attitude, and the Vajra symbolizing the ultimate bodhicitta, the wisdom of emptiness, which will exterminate all the mental stains. Now look, this is what guarantees that the seed of perfection will manifest fully, and that you will be freed from all the mental defilements, that you will awaken fully, that you will not have to go through all the end of the miseries, and you are at the infinitely expansive happiness. That's amazing. But what about my parents? What about all the people who died? What about all the people in hospitals in Afghanistan and everywhere in the world? Yes, in entire universe. Out of intense compassion, let us visualize that the Vajramuni to heart to multiply infinite number of times with intense love and affection, compassion. Let us imagine that the replicas of Vajramun from your heart to be distributed. One set at the heart of your mother, one set at the heart of your father, one set with each one of your family members, including your children, one set with each one of people who died to this COVID-19, each one who died otherwise as well, each one in the hospital, in their respective homes, in Afghanistan, in everywhere in the world, the human beings, animals, insects, hungry ghosts, hell beings, spirits, god and goddesses, everyone living on the side, everyone has their share of the Vajra moon. That's amazing. This is the greatest gift that you can possibly think of offering to the beings, and today you did it. That's so amazing. So with this spirit, let us recite these three verses together, and then imagine that all beings are joining you. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. The next two verses, I'm going to quickly explain this. And then how can you... It says, I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart, which means that may I become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. When you say this, how can I become that? So looking at the history, you see the Buddha Shakyamuni who attained that. How did he succeed in this? He succeeded in this through two factors. One, initially he generated a very strong motivation to become Buddha, which is known as bodhicitta. He generated the bodhicitta. And next, to materialize the aspirations of this bodhicitta, he engaged in the bodhisattva practices such as six perfections: perfection of the generosity, ethical discipline, patience, enthusiasm, meditative samadhi, wisdom, and then the four perfections: the skillfulness, aspiration prayers, power, and the primordial wisdom. So, with these 10, engaging in these 10 the Bodhisattva practices, he succeeded in the finally awakening the seed of perfection within to become the full enlightened being to benefit all the beings. Wow, that's amazing. If this is how he succeeded, I'll follow his steps. I will also generate a very strong mind of bodhicitta to benefit all the beings by becoming a Buddha, and to materialize his aspiration, I will also engage in the bodhisattva practices. So this is how we design our lifelong practice to extract the greatest meaning out of life. So with this mind, let us all say these following two verses together. And imagine that you're leading this and all beings are joining you. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successively dwelt in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwelt in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwelt in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully follow the bodhisattva practices. Okay, now imagine that the Vajra moon that you visualize your heart and our heart of all the Dharma sentient beings, the full-fledged version of this set, Vajra moon, is at the hearts of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Just visualize that now. And they so fascinated to see that you have done a great job today, that you have done a great practice today, so meaningful today. They are so happy that the Vajra moon at their heart multiplies infinite number of times. In barrage like rain shower, these replicas of Vajra moon descend to merge with the one that visualizes your heart. That what is visualized your heart, and the replicas descending, they merge, stabilized, and blessed. Likewise, in barrage like rain shower, all these replicas of Vajra moon from the hearts of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they descend to merge with the one that visualizes at the heart of your mother, at the heart of your father, at the heart of each one of your children, your family members, each of the sentient beings, the human beings, animals, insects, hungry ghosts, hell beings, God and Goddess, spirits, all the beings, thereby blessing their mind, their heart to become the Buddha eventually, very soon. Okay, good. Okay. We'll recite this verse. So given that we met with this teaching of bodhicitta, met this teaching with the wisdom of emptiness, to remove all mental defilements and that we be free from all the sufferings. And what about next life? Will we meet with these teachings? It depends on how we connect ourselves with these teachings in this life. So we include that in the form of very powerful prayer. We'll say this prayer together wholeheartedly, so that we will continue to meet with these two teachings in the future lifetimes as well. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the two precious bodhicittas even at the cosmic life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the two precious bodhicittas even at the cosmic life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the two precious bodhicittas even at the cosmic life. And the remaining verses from Guided Bodhisattva's Way of Life, the incredibly great Bodhisattva, his text, it is to feel the joy over having received this Aspirational Bodhisattva vow, so that in your future lifetimes, whenever you hear the word bodhicitta, there's a tremendous joy. What oftentimes people refer to as the nostalgia, or people refer to as the deja vu, and so forth. The real deja vu will happen to you if you connect yourself with this practice in this life, and then connect this with activity and joy. When the manner in which Bodhisattva Shantideva indicated in the next life, you hear the word bodhicitta, instantly you feel as though like this is like coming home. When did I hear this word? It gives me so much joy, as though like I'm meeting my mother, or my little sister, my little brother. So this says what we call as the deja vu. This is what is bound to happen, and this is how you connect yourself to the practice of Buddhism. Then you will go into this practice full swing, even in the future lifetimes. This is how we make a long-term plan. Okay. In order to further increase this bodhicitta from now on, Those with discernment who have lucidly seized an awakened mind of the Bodhisattva in this way should highly praise it in the following manner. Today my life has borne fruit, having well obtained this human existence. I've been born in the family of the Buddha, and now I'm one of Buddha's children. Thus whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall I disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied race. Just like a blind person discovering a jewel in a heap of rubbish, likewise by some coincidence, an awakening mind, bodhicitta, has been born within me. This bodhicitta is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereignty of death. It is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world. It is the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease. It is a tree that shelters all beings wandering and tired on the path of conditioned existence. It is a universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth. It is the dawning moon of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions. It is a great sun that finally removes the misty ignorance of the world. It is the quintessential butter from the churn of the milk of Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the bounties of happiness, this will satisfy them with joy, and it shall place them in the supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors, I invite the world to be guests at a festival of temporary and ultimate delight. May gods, demigods, and all be joyful. End that in prayer. Okay, now this completes the bodhicitta bodhicitta practice. Okay, all of you have a virtuous day.